Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. Again, have my hat. You will know when it is spring or summer in my area when you see me finally remove the hat. It's February, we're in the throes of winter. It's Canada, so that's the way it goes around here. I have my coffee to keep me warm. Actually, I did the mom thing and I misplaced my coffee and it was missing for like hours and I just found it, so I just reheated it and I'm gonna drink the rest. I know if you're a mom, you can relate. So today I want to talk about safety in essential oils. I feel like this is really important and I feel like this does not get talked about enough. Anytime you are using something like essential oils, I believe that it's really important to do your research and not just kind of use the information that maybe you're being told. You want to look at different resources and different information when researching. Now, some people think that if essential oils are natural, they're safe. Well, they are great options, but that doesn't mean that they're always can be used in any way and that there are no side effects. I mean, think about when you go out into the woods, there's berries and mushrooms that are poisonous and can kill you. And so natural doesn't always equal safe. Essential oils can be safe if they're used properly. So I'm just going to talk a bit quickly, again, I like to keep this video short, about how I try to use them safely. Some of this is going to be my personal opinion. I encourage you to do your own research, but that's the purpose of this video. I hope to encourage you to do your own research when going into essential oils. So one of the biggest things, the first things that I want to talk about is using a carrier oil with an essential oil. So there's some essential oils that can irritate the skin, especially if you have sensitive skin, and so that's why you should apply it with a carrier oil. A carrier oil is something like coconut oil. You kind of just add a drop or two of the oil to the carrier oil. Therefore, it's not as it's diluting it a bit, right? Because when you get the essential oils, they're very concentrated. So you want to dilute it sometimes when applying. There's certain oils that will irritate your skin a little more than others. Like I'll put lavender on myself without a carrier oil and have no problem, but I might use a carrier oil for something like peppermint oil that can be a little warmer. So the other one I want to talk about when it comes to using a carrier oil hand in hand is let's talk about using oils on kids, using oils on around animals, using oils on babies. Again, there are risks that come with it, and so I encourage you to do your research before applying it on a child. There are some oils that they recommend you actually don't use directly on a child. So for my children, my youngest is 6, so I don't have too many concerns, but there are some I still won't use directly on them. I used peppermint oil on my 9-year-old, he's almost 10, the other day, but again, because he had a headache, but again, I used the carrier oil for him. I'm not sure I would use peppermint oil on my youngest. So you need to be careful when doing that. The younger and smaller they are, of course, the more sensitive they could be to it. So you want to be careful with that. There's even ones that if you diffuse on animals or use around animals that it can cause an adverse reaction. I have not looked into too much about which ones, but I know that there are definitely ones that they advise you not to use around pets. So if you have a dog or a cat at home, you want to do your research on that. Pregnancy and nursing, again, another one where you need to do your research and be very careful about which oils you use. Now, I don't want to scare people off. There are great oils that you can use during those times. There are oils that help with nursing. There are oils that help during pregnancy. All I'm saying is you want to do your research. So just, someone's telling you that they love this oil and you should try it for pregnancy or nursing, I would just recommend that you research into it as well. We should do that anyways for a lot of things that we have in our lives. especially things we consume or things we put on our skin. It's just a wise practice because there's so much misinformation, and you always want to check your sources, especially with the internet, because as we all know, contrary to popular belief, if it's on the internet, it does not mean it's true. So just check your sources, make sure your sources are reliable. And it's tricky because it can be biased, especially with essential oils. There's people who will use them no matter what in whatever situation and don't speak to the safety of it. There are other people who are completely against essential oils. So you want to check and make sure that your sources aren't biased, I guess, is what I'm thinking. The other one is sun exposure. So there are some oils that if you apply to your skin, you need to be careful going out in the sun. Citrus oils tend to be the one that I see keep coming up, but you can have an adverse reaction to an oil if you apply it to yourself and then are out in the sun for a while. So you want to check that, especially in the summertime. And again, from what I have read in the research that I have done, it seems to be more citrus oil based. And the last one I want to talk about, which is the really, really controversial one, is ingesting oils. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was really, really hesitant when I started oils to even think about ingesting them. But I've done some research, and I've come to the conclusion that you have to be extremely careful, but there are some oils that are okay for ingesting in moderation. So what I mean about in moderation is I just don't believe that it's good to be consuming it constantly, because I think it can be hard on your the inside of your body. It can just be difficult if your body's constantly taking that in, because they are very concentrated. So one of the ones that I feel okay ingesting, again, it's kind of when I have an upset stomach once in a while, would be peppermint. And it would be a very, like a drop, right? The one that's really popular that people like to ingest is lemon. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Again, personal opinion and research that I've done, I think that probably in moderation it would be fine. For me, putting lemon oil in my water, it just makes sense for me to actually use a lemon. It's cheaper. It's the fruit in its natural form. But when you think about it, if you were putting lemon in your water every single day, it actually can ruin your teeth, the enamel on your teeth, and it can also cause issues with reflux and things if you're constantly drinking it. And so it makes sense that if you're doing the same thing with an oil, that you're going to have adverse reactions. So when it comes to ingesting oils, do your research. There are some that you definitely don't want to ingest. There are certain companies of oils that you don't want to ingest, so you want to make sure that you have a pure product. I used to buy oils before I joined doTERRA. I used to buy oils from the store, and there are some I didn't realize until later that they had other ingredients in them. I'd never ingested the ones I bought from the store, but it's difficult sometimes to know the source, right? So, I'm just gonna be straight and upfront with you. I believe there's more than one good oil company. I love doTERRA. I buy doTERRA now exclusively, but I'm not gonna be blind to the fact that I'm not going to sit here and say it's the only company where you can get a good oil. I think you definitely have to be careful. I think you can trust doTERRA. But there are, just like anything, there's multiple companies that I think you can get a good product from. But again, when you're ingesting, you want to make sure you can, because there's some that you can't. So it should say on the bottle. And you want to do your own research even past the bottle of how you feel if you feel comfortable ingesting it, and again, in moderation. So those are just the points I wanted to talk about today when it comes to safety in essential oils. Essential oils are amazing. I am loving adding them to so many of my products. I have it diffusing right now. Actually, I have It's called Whisper, which is my newest one from doTERRA, and it's kind of like perfumey, which is what I was looking for because I want to replace the stuff I put on my body with something like that. So it's nice. So I'm really liking it. I keep looking at it because my diffuser's there, but I guess you can't see it, so I should stop looking at it. So anyways, that again, I don't want to go too long, so I'm just going to end there. But remember, do your research. If you have any questions, if you want to start ordering your own oils through doTERRA with a wholesale account, which will get you a discount, I'll put the links below. Feel free to contact me with questions you have, comments, anything, concerns. I am here to answer your questions, and we'll chat again soon.